Hey there, AP World History students. My name is Luis Silva, and today we're looking at transition from river valley civilizations to empires. In this case, the Persian Empire, the Indian Empire, as well as the Chinese empires. But before we keep on going, I want to remind you to please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video and make sure you share this video so that we can reach out to more students and get them ready to take that AP World History exam. But what will we learn today? Today we're going to identify the major achievements of Chinese and Indian societies from 1100 BCE all the way to the year 500 CE. But let's look at different concepts here. In this case, from civilizations to empires. After thousands of years of civilizations and river valleys, the first empires appeared. As you know, river valley civilizations were complex societies with advanced technologies, cities, workers, writing, as well as institutions. And the empires were advanced societies with well-organized centralized governments that conquered and ruled a variety of independent people. So once people became part of an empire, they were actually ruled by a king, and they had to obey what that king told people to do. Now let's look at the major empires here. First of all, we have the Persian Empire, we have the Gupta Empire, and we also have the Chinese Empire. But I want you to look at those red lines that actually cross everywhere in China, the Indian part of the world, the Persian part of the world, and it goes all the way to Rome, Africa. Those were trading routes. Trading routes were very important because they connected people. They actually brought cultural diffusion from China to the Gupta Empire to the Persian Empire all the way to Europe. This was very important. These are the three empires that we're going to be looking at. And if you look at the right hand side, like the key right there, the legend to the right hand side at the bottom, you see everything that was traded between these areas like cloth, grains, ivory, metal, precious stones, silk, slaves, among other things. So all of these trading combinations actually, up to a certain degree, kind of united these three empires. Now, Mesopotamia went from a river valley civilization to an empire. As you recall from previous presentations, this was a big, important civilization that was able to dominate the area, but it actually fell and became part of an empire. The fertile soil and lack of natural boundaries in Mesopotamia led to frequent invasions as well as conquests. Remember, you needed to have obviously natural barriers. You needed to have like a desert. You needed to have like an ocean that would protect you from enemies. But this area was open, was free, and basically many people decided to conquer this area, and it actually happened. One of the most important ancient empires were the Persians, which is in present-day Iran. The Persian Empire was, and even up to today, one of the biggest empires in the world. Unfortunately, every empire has fallen, and in 338 BC, weakened Greece was able to fall to Macedonia. As you can see the map to the left hand side, and this is what the Persian Empire became. The Persians grew into a powerful empire under two kings. The first king was Cyrus, and the second king was Darius. You can see both of them on the presentation. Here are the 10,000 immortals which served the king, very loyal, and they were ready and willing to conquer anything and everything in the name of the Persian king. One of the most important Asian empires, as we have mentioned before, was this massive empire that came basically out of nowhere, the Persians. And with a powerful army, the Persians were able to conquer Mesopotamia, Egypt, and India. This is very important because these are like the three primary civilizations that we have talked about previously, and they were actually conquered by the Persians. In terms of Persian culture, and in this case religion, the Persians practiced Zoroastrianism, which view life as a struggle between good and evil. The Persians believe in a heaven. They also believe in a hell as consequences for how they lived their lives. Zoroastrianism influenced the views of the afterlife in religions such as Judaism, Christianity, as well as Islam. Please make sure that you are able to make the connections between religions. In this case, similarities, we're talking about Zoroastrianism and how it influenced other religions. In this case, Christianity, Judaism, as well as Islam. So the Persian Empire. The Persians controlled their empire in a variety of ways. The Persian kings were tolerant as they allowed people, in this case conquered people, to keep their languages and religion. Rather than destroying or looting conquered cities, King Cyrus would show respect for local customs. This was very important because people did not see the king as an enemy. People did not see the king as somebody that was trying to change how they believed or behaved, but instead they saw the king be open to what they practice. King Darius divided also the empire into 20 provinces, each ruled by a satrap or a local governor. Satraps were the eyes and ears of the king. They also collected taxes and informed the king of any uprisings. This was important because the king was not directly there pushing people, harassing people, but instead the king left everything to local governors, satraps, and they would inform the king what was happening, and this worked very well. The Persians also built a network of roads in order to collect taxes and improve communication and also trade throughout the empire. Now, when you have roads, when you have ways of moving from one area to another area efficiently, this makes everything so much easier for everybody. Not only for moving goods from one area to another area to another area, but also if anything happened, you were able to move your troops from one area to another area to another area in a fast and efficient way. So this was something really good for the Persian Empire, as they were able to build those roads, they were able to collect taxes, and they were able to communicate throughout the empire in an efficient way. The Persians also used metal coins with standardized values to help promote trade. Remember, you need coins, you need money, you need currency. And once you have a stable currency, you are able to promote trade. You are able to move goods from point A to B to C to D, and you would pay with a currency, with a, in this case, money that had the same value everywhere. And this way it allowed the kings to actually connect with all provinces, all areas, and not only connect but be able to collect taxes, which was important to maintain an army and pay all of that government bureaucracy. Now let's move on to the Mauryan Empire of India. Let's move through the information that we have in front of us. Number one, around 6000 BC, farming begins in Western India. Number two, around 4000 BC, farmers move into fertile valley of Indus River. Number three, around 2500 BC, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa are the world's first planned cities. Number 4, around 1700 BC, after surviving 900 years of floods, Indus cities are totally abandoned. And number 5, Indus civilization falls apart. So this is basically the rise of Indus Valley civilizations and the fall of Indus River Valley civilization around 1700 BC. After the River Valley era, India transitioned into the Mauryan Empire. You're more than welcome to see all the information that's presented to you to the left hand side, and we can see that around 563 BC, Siddhartha Gautama is born. We also see that around 321 BC, the Mauryan Empire is started. We see that around 260 BC, Emperor Ashoka becomes a Buddhist. We also see that Ashoka has pillars and cliffs carved with Buddhist teachings. And we also know that many converts to Buddhism, but most Indians remain Hindu. Very important. And lastly, we also see that around 232 BC, Ashoka dies and the empire breaks up. Very important events in Indian empires. Now, Chandragupta Maurya became king of India in the year 321 BC, created a vast army, and also, because of his powerful army, he was able to conquer new lands. Chandragupta Empire controlled most of the Indian subcontinent. You see from the map to the left hand side, most of India was controlled by Chandragupta. The Mauryan Empire is very important in world history because Chandragupta used tactics to control his empire. Just like the Persians had done, Chandragupta divided his empire into provinces, each ruled by a local prince. You can see from the map here to the right hand side. In the year 269 BC, King Ashoka took over and expanded the Mauryan Empire to its greatest extent. During his wars of expansion, Ashoka converted to Buddhism, very important event in world history. Now, Ashoka developed new policies of tolerance and also non-violence for his empire. Very important because in order to keep people happy, you have to be able to make them happy. And in this case, a policy of non-violence was very good as it stabilized the empire. Buddhism was able to spread as a result of Ashoka's influence. But after Ashoka's death, the Mauryan Empire declined and was replaced by the Gupta Empire. Chandragupta formed the Gupta Empire in the year 320 AD and expanded the empire. Now let's move on to classical India. India experienced a golden age during the Gupta Empire and became a classical empire. Indian astronomers were the first to discover the earth was round. This is really important because prior to this, people thought that the earth was flat, but in this case, we have the astronomers from India that discovered that the earth was round. Mathematicians invented modern numerals, 0, pi, and also the decimal system. This is very important because we use these concepts in mathematics, even in modern day. So classical India has played a significant role in world history. Merchants sold spices and silk to people in the Mediterranean world. The Han Dynasty in China. China in the dynastic cycle. Government in China was based upon dynastic cycle. One ruling family or a dynasty gains the mandate of heaven, then is able to rule until the dynasty grows weak and is overthrown. You're more than welcome once again to read this cycle that's presented to you on your right hand side at the bottom and see how it works. As a result, eras in Chinese history are named after the ruling dynasties. In this case, we have the Han Dynasty from 206 BC all the way to 220 AD. Very important components of the Han Dynasty. We also see that in 206 BC to 2500 AD, Hans take control and expand the Chinese Empire. We see that the Han Dynasty builds the Silk Road, linking China with Europe. We also see that between 25 to 220 AD, the Han Dynasty builds economy and then fosters. And we also see that around 220 AD, Han Emperor gives up his throne. During the Han Dynasty, China became a classical civilization marked by its advanced government, trade, as well as technology. The Han kings built a powerful army and expanded into Asia to form China's first empire. Chinese emperors added thousands of government workers called bureaucrats to collect taxes and also enforce building projects. Once again, this is very important because in our modern day, we also take a whole bunch of the ideas that were put together by the Chinese and we use them today. Now, in order to gain one of the 130,000 government jobs, citizens had to pass a civil service exams. Exams were based on Confucian teaching. Very important because even in modern day today, we use civil service exams. If you want to go and work for the post office here in the United States, you have to take an exam. If you want to go and work for the gas company, you have to go and take an exam. So everything is based on exams, and this actually comes from an idea that the Chinese put together. Now, in terms of Confucianism, it focuses on social order, harmony, and good government should be based on family relationship. It also focuses on respect for parents and elder as one of the important components of society. And it also focuses on education as an important component for the individual as well as society. Now, Han China, in this case, Chinese technologies became advanced, especially silk and paper making. Paper made books cheaper and also increased literacy in China. The desire for Chinese luxury goods led to the Silk Road, which connected China with Indian, Persian, and Mediterranean society, and we're going to add here to many European places as well. Now, as a closure activity, can you identify 3 similarities and 3 differences among the Persian, the Indian, and Chinese empires? Take your time, decide. I'm going to move on to the next part of this presentation. This is a question that could potentially be part of your AP exam. And also here we have a vocabulary quiz. This actually has to do with the previous lessons, but very important for you to actually know these words, these concepts, and be able to tell how each concept is related to each other and how it is related to AP World History. We have come to the end of this presentation. Please do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to like this video, and do not forget to share this video so that we can help out other students be successful as they are preparing for the AP exam. I will see you in the next presentation.